Hello, I'm Diana Keogh, Editor-in-Chief of ShareWIK.com. Today we're talking to Dr. Joseph Congeni, who is the Medical Director of the Sports Medicine Center at Akron Children's Hospital. Dr. Congeni is going to be talking to us about the topic of concussions. He's agreed to take questions that have come in over the internet from our members. Dr. Congeni, the first question has come in from Allie from Pennsylvania.
Dr. Congeni, my sister fell on her head during a basketball game and she's been feeling really dizzy ever since. Should she go see a doctor about it, or should she just wait to see if the dizziness goes away?
I think being seen right away is the best thing for concussion, being seen in 24 to 48 hours. And most traumatic brain injury centers around the country are going to tell you, try to get that evaluated in the first 48 hours. Because we do have better tests now at being able to tell if that dizziness was one of the signs or symptoms of a brain bruise that is a concussion, so that we can tell, should that kid return back to play sooner, or is that kid at risk for a second and more significant brain injury?
Hi, Dr. Congeni. My brother has had 2 concussions and still wants to continue playing football. How many concussions is too many?
There is no one specific answer to give to that. Everything is individualized in concussion care. We used to try in the 80s and 90s what was kind of thought of as a cookbook approach or a protocol approach. Everybody's looking for that. Unfortunately, concussions are all so very different. It really depends on how the brain responds to the brain injury or the concussion. So we look and see how quickly people recover, what led to the concussion, and there is not one specific number that we give to say, hey, after this number, you're out of play. But I tell you, there are a few things we worry about. If people are starting to get concussions more frequently, if it takes a lesser blow before you get a concussion, if it takes longer period of time after the concussion before you get back to normal again, those are some of the symptoms we look for when we start to think about disqualifying a kid or taking them out of contact or collision sports altogether.
Dr. Congeni, do you allow your sons to play football?
I would let my sons play football, and I have let my sons play football. I have 2 sons, so I can answer that directly. My oldest son is a senior in college, and he played football through high school, and he passionately loved the game of football. And so it was something that he very much enjoyed doing. I did think to myself, as somebody who covers game on the sidelines, I can put up with a shoulder injury, which he happened to have. I'll put up with knee injuries and ankle injuries, but if he starts heading down the road of having concussion, it's one thing that I would really have a hard time sending him back to again.
Dr. Congeni, my little brother plays Pop Warner football. Can they hit hard enough to cause a concussion?
This is a question I have to answer differently now in the year 2010 than I did in the year 2005 and before that. We really had very little evidence that kids in youth football got concussions at all. We felt that the injury rate in football was the same as in other sports, such as soccer and basketball and other sports like that, that concussions were a blip on the screen. And unfortunately now we are seeing that as kids have gotten bigger, stronger, faster at even younger ages, we are seeing kids in 4th, 5th, 6th grade that are sustaining concussions from the sport of football. That's been proven and documented in the late 2000s. The problem with young kids with brain injury is it takes twice as long for the brain to recover from a brain injury in younger kids than it does in adults or in even late high school and college. And the reason really makes great sense. We learn it early in biology and neurobiology is the brain is the last organ system in the body to fully mature. And the brain doesn't fully mature till at least 20 or 25 years of age. And so the kids that we're talking about in Pop Warner or CYO or youth football that have a concussion frequently need to be held out twice as long as kids that get those same injuries in high school and college.
Dr. Congeni, thank you so much for joining us here on ShareWIK.com. This has been great information. If you'd like more information on the topic of concussions, please go to our website at www.sharewik.com.